What's up, guys? This is On the Horn. I'm Zach Joachim. Happy New Year to everyone out there. I'm coming at you from the Siegel Center after VCU beat St. Bonaventure 89-82 in a thrilling Atlantic 10 opener for both teams. Amazing atmosphere in here tonight. Rams coach Phil Martelli Jr. said that was the difference in this game. And let's start there because Bonaventure is up 77-71 with about 6 minutes to play here. VCU was really struggling to get stops on the defensive end. Frank Mitchell was phenomenal for the Bonnies. He ended up with a game-high 24 points, came in averaging a double-double, and VCU was struggling to stop him. Daryl Simmons as well for Bonaventure was really good. He had 22 points. Bonnie shot 60% from three, and it was nervy in here in the latter stages of the second half. And then this place absolutely came alive, and VCU's defense came alive with it. Siegel Center was on its feet for every defensive possession. VCU forced shot clock violations, deflections, turnovers, got a bunch of vital stops late in this game. And then on the offensive end, Brandon Jennings was the difference. He ended up with a career-high 20 points, drew 8 fouls, got to the line at will. He ended up 14 of 15 from the free throw line, a lot of those claiming clutch time in the final stages of this game. Lazar Djokovic, a career-high 23 points, 9 of 12 from the field. He and Mitchell were going back and forth all afternoon. That was a really fun battle of two of the best bigs in the Atlantic 10. Lazar talked about he hadn't really faced a guy in his career with that much physicality. Mitchell's footwork was phenomenal. He ended up 10 of 18 from the floor. Had a bunch of really pretty finishes and footwork, spins in the post, little jump hooks in the lane. But Djokovic matched him blow for blow. And beat him off the dribble on a number of occasions. And Lazar said it was kind of his speed and mobility and agility, against Mitchell's physicality. And that was a really fun matchup. They ended up kind of canceling each other out. And down the stretch for VCU on the offensive end, it was Brandon Jennings. Brandon said that he identified, when they went into the bonus and he was able to draw contact and get to the line at will. As Ahmad Noel is shooting around right now on the other end of the floor. As the Siegel Center empties out from, again, what was an amazing atmosphere today. And Jennings provided the offensive stability down the stretch for VCU. I believe 14 made free throws. CK, you said 14 made free throws is a record for a single game? Ties the record, thank you. 14 made. Okay, thank you. You remember what year that was? For Travion? You remember what year that was for Travion? Thank you, sir. Travion Graham, 2015, was the last guy to make 14 free throws in a game for VCU. It's happened 5 times now. That matches the program record for Brandon Jennings. Shout out to Chris Kowalczyk for making sure my VCU record book is on point there. Terrence Hill Jr., 5 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3. He had 19 points. And VCU, I asked Phil and Terrence about this after the game, and I think they're kind of, trying to be relatively tight-lipped about it, because you obviously don't want to put the offensive sets that you're running out there for everyone to study, but it's on film now, and teams have started running Terrence Hill Jr. off the three-point line, and guarding him really aggressively, face guarding and kind of deny him the ball. And so I think VCU's running some new sets to try and get him open on the perimeter, and that was effective tonight. He ended up with 19 points. Barry Evans also in double figures. He had 10 points and 4 assists, and VCU played a really short rotation, right? Only 7 guys saw time. I mean, Michael Bell played 20-50, and that was the lowest total of any of the 7 guys that saw the floor. Phil Martelli really shortened his rotation for this game, so that stands out. Jadrian Tracy, 9 points, 2 assists, and Nick Lewis, 6 points, 7 rebounds. That's a team high in rebounds. Bonaventure is an outstanding offensive rebounding team, and they ended up with 11, leading to 11 second chance points, and I think you'll take that and run with it all day if you're VCU, right, with how good they are on the offensive glass. To be able to limit them to, an offensive rebounding number that's not going to be the difference in the game. I think that VCU will certainly take that. Rams were 54.7% from the field, 29 of 53. Bonaventure was 50.8% from the field. Now, Bonaventure only got 10 threes off. I think Phil Martelli will be really happy with that. VCU was able to limit their attempts from outside, and that was vital because they shot 60%. They made 6 of them, right? Especially Simmons, who was 4 or 5 from 3. VCU 48-38 edge in the paint. against a Bonaventure team with a dominant big like Mitchell. I think that's really the difference in this game schematically. VCU also 19-9 edge in fast break points. When the Rams were able to get going in transition, they saw some of their best offense from it. And yeah, this was 11 lead changes, 9 ties. Bonaventure led for 17:05 by as much as 7. VCU for 16:01 by as much as 10. Their largest lead was with just 16 seconds to play late there. And after it was 77-71, VCU closed the game on, what's the math there, guys? An 18-5 run. And the atmosphere in this place was an enormous part of that. I'm going to walk back over to my laptop here to try and find that quote. Very fun press conference afterward, by the way, in which it was delayed a little bit because everyone was watching Tech and UVA, which went to triple overtime, which was a wild game. Tech ended up winning by 10, though, which is very helpful for VCU in terms of the metrics. And I'm putting my phone down here for a second. So y'all are going to stare at the ceiling of the Siegel Center while I pull up my laptop and we try and get the quotes. Here's Phil Martelli talking about the crowd. He said the difference in this game was the crowd. That was the Siegel Center. That's what people feared. That's what we love. That was Siegel Center basketball. That was VCU basketball. That was bleeping awesome. It was a difference maker. He actually said bleeping. I'm not like bleeping out a curse word there. But it was phenomenal. Barry Evans was, repeatedly raising his hands, asking for more noise. Coaches on the VCU bench were doing the same. And I think we saw what this place is capable of in terms of affecting a game. Obviously, the John Rothstein life-altering line comes to mind. And that was enormous in spurring VCU to another level defensively down the stretch here. Djokovic and Jennings, the stories offensively. And yeah, VCU to 10-4, 1-0 in A10 play. And then a quick turnaround that I'll write about here in a second too. And we asked Phil about that because that prep for Duquesne on Saturday is going to be tough. Duquesne won at Davidson in double overtime the other night. I think that was last night, was it? And so they have a day, they were able to sit back and watch this game today and get prepared for VCU. So Phil said, as he's watching the ball drop tonight, he's going to be seeing a Duquesne logo instead of the ball, and they're going to have to turn around quick to prepare for a tough road game on Saturday. And if they can pull that one out, then that will set up a marquee matchup on Wednesday with St. Louis, which looks like the favorite in the Atlantic 10 entering conference play right now. I haven't looked around at A10 scores or seen what they've done today yet, but they look really good under Josh Schertz. And so that'll be a huge test, and this place will need to be a difference in that game as well, just like it was tonight down the stretch for VCU. Anything else stand out on the stat sheet? No, I think that's it, guys. VCU 89, St. Bonaventure 82. Phenomenal atmosphere in here tonight. Brandon Jennings and Lazar Djokovic were great. VCU clamped down defensively down the stretch, uplifted by the Siegel Center atmosphere. And I'm Zach Joachim. This is On the Horn. And I'm not going to Pittsburgh on Saturday. I'll be covering from home, but I'll do On the Horn from my apartment in downtown Richmond. And then I'll see you guys back here for a big one on Wednesday against SLU. Thanks so much for following the coverage, guys. I already got the quick recap up of this game, and I'll have a couple of follows for the next couple of days. One looking ahead to Duquesne, probably one focusing on how the atmosphere impacted this game, and then another on Brandon Jennings and how VCU is kind of freeing up Terrence Hill offensively right now. And then we'll also zone in on that Lazar Djokovic and Frank Mitchell battle, which was phenomenal to watch all night. Rams to 10-4. Thank you guys so much for following the coverage and watching On the Horn. I'm Zach Joachim. We'll see you Saturday against Duquesne. Happy New Year, everyone.